Hey everybody, good morning. This is Jordan Tremaine with All the Things, and I'm coming at you with another book review. And today we're talking about a book I read called Stop Acting Rich. Okay, so this book I listened to on audiobook. I think this is a great book to listen to while you're in traffic if you're interested in that book. I don't know about the reading experience of it because I didn't page through it, which is why I got the picture on my iPad. But this book I enjoyed a lot, and it was something that was, I wouldn't call it a self-help book, but I wouldn't call it a storybook either. It was kind of just somebody saying what they think. It's kind of an explanation. The book Stop Acting Rich by Thomas J. Stanley, who is a PhD, if that's important to you, is it's not a book about how to become a millionaire, but if you read it, it does kind of point you in that direction of how to become more financially stable. It's more about recognizing things you may be doing or people around you may be doing that is stopping them from acquiring money. Stuff that they're like, why are you doing that? Where if you can't afford something, why are you buying it? If you really don't live at this level, why do you want to be perceived at this level? And it goes through all these examples of why sometimes we as humans want to do stuff that is beyond our means and how it hurts us in the long run. One of the things it talks about is alcohol, where especially with vodka, because if you know about vodka, vodka is very strictly controlled as far as what vodka can be. There's actually laws that say exactly what vodka can be, and really all vodka is the same by law. There's really no difference in vodka. But then you go to the store and there's some bottles that are like mucho, mucho money, and then some that are pretty cheap. But it's really the same stuff in different packages. So why are you spending so much money for this expensive vodka when it's literally exactly the same by law as the other stuff? And that's kind of what this book gets to is some people buy that stuff for like the prestige value, which prestige has a very interesting definition if you go look it up, or to look a certain way or to identify with being rich or affluent or something like that. Where what's I think interesting about this book is the guy that wrote this book went and surveyed people, like real life people that are real millionaires and people that buy expensive things. And it turns out that I think the public has this idea that being a millionaire, being rich means like driving Mercedes around and like, just making it rain and having all this money everywhere. But most millionaires live in the suburbs in relatively affordable houses. They drive Toyotas. I love Toyota, so I thought that was super cool. And they own businesses. And they're just quiet, regular people, and they contribute money to their churches. They do volunteer work, and they just help contribute to the community. Most millionaires are not big, flashy Rolex wearers. They talked to this guy that was super rich, and he had this Walmart watch, and they asked him why he had this Walmart watch, and it was because Walmart sold this watch that was like that had his favorite NASCAR driver on it, and that's why he liked the watch. And it was like a $3 watch, and he was a millionaire. But he was like, yeah, it's my favorite NASCAR driver, so I love this watch. And it's not about having all these things they call artifacts in the book, or the like expensive things where you don't need logos on you to be rich. You don't need nice cars to be rich. And there's nothing wrong with those things. But are they helping you be rich? Are they helping you live comfortably? Or are they just stressing you out and causing you to live paycheck to paycheck? I think this book has a lot of practical advice and a lot of real world situations and examples of how people can fall into these situations of thinking where they're convinced that it's important to keep up with the Joneses or to have the most expensive thing or to flaunt or to act a certain way when that's really not the case if you look at their financial statements. And this book really kind of puts it into perspective of what real millionaires act like and what kind of fake millionaires act like. And I thought it was really interesting. This is nothing against people that buy expensive stuff. This is nothing against people that want that kind of stuff or that live in classy communities. I don't think this book is saying bad things about anybody. It's just kind of putting things in perspective with reality to say normally people that buy this stuff have this amount of financials, and that's just the reality of it. And people that live at this level, like a lot of millionaires live at this level, but they have these financials. So kind of just to I don't know, state some facts. And I really like how this guy does a lot of statistics, and he goes and he surveys hundreds and hundreds of people from different places to develop the content that he's putting in the book. It's not just his opinion, it's actual statistics from people in the United States. So the book is really interesting. I think it gave a lot of examples, and one of the things that I think it can really help with is if you feel, for whatever reason, like you're not up to par with other people because they have really expensive things. If you feel like you're struggling financially, and then you have friends and you don't know how they can be doing all this really crazy affluent stuff because they work basically the same job as you, I think this helps put it into perspective and really show what's going on behind the scenes, and it can help you be more confident or help you have more motivation to save or to be financially wise and go learn about financials and not like just spend money on everything. And then it also helps you to save money, because if you didn't know that fancy vodka is literally the same thing as regular vodka, you might be buying it because you think it's better vodka, but it's not. So it also encourages you to look into stuff and really see what's going on behind the veil, kind of like in The Wizard of Oz, where you like peek behind the curtain, and it's not this big old rah 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 guy. It's this little munchkin dude that's like pulling levers and stuff. So I really like this book. It's really straightforward, has a lot of statistical information, has a lot of real world examples, and it has a lot of like, let's put things in perspective. Let's try to look at things for what they really are. And I think a lot of the books that I review on this channel, a lot of books that I read, some of them are very fantastic, like that book, Diaspora. That's not about reality. It's a really crazy fantasy book. But I think a lot of the books that I review here are encouraging people to look a little bit deeper into stuff, to try and see things for what they really are, or to like challenge your mind to think. And I think this book, it's not a very difficult book. It's a pretty short book, but it does offer perspectives that I don't think the mainstream media is offering, that I don't think a lot of people are talking about around the water cooler. And so I appreciate that. So once again, let me get my iPad. The book is Stop Acting Rich by Thomas J. Stanley. The audiobook was pretty good. The guy that did the voice, I don't know who he is, but it wasn't annoying. Sometimes you listen to an audiobook and you're like, I do not like this guy's voice. But I thought this guy's voice was okay. Pretty short and sweet book, pretty easy to understand, and it goes into a lot of real world examples, and so I appreciate that a lot. But yeah, I think this book is worth a read or worth a listen to while you're stuck in traffic, especially if you live in Southern California, because there's a lot of traffic here. But this has been Jordan Tremaine with another book review. I think that these kind of books are interesting. If you have books that offer interesting perspectives on stuff, or that are interesting stories that cause you to think, or you think would be good for this channel, please recommend them, and I would be happy to read them. I'm working on a couple, or I have done a couple reviews from people who have suggested stuff, so thank you to you guys. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.